going to do an insight video again today. I did one yesterday, and I feel like a lot of things that are going on at the moment within us and on the planet are very much around consciousness. And what do I mean by consciousness? Consciousness is like this infinite consciousness that, our our energy, our sort of consciousness that connects and opens to this infinite stream of information, wisdom, insight, understanding that is connected to the infinite dimensions and realms. It connects directly to source. And there's many beings, there's many enlightened beings, there's many teachers, universal teachers, there's guides, angels, um, Palladian, Syrians, and there's like Lemurian and like Atlantis vibrations and frequencies. And consciousness is like creation. It's many different frequencies of it, and like I said, in these different dimensions and realms and realities. And currently, what many of us are doing is we're shifting our consciousness. We're becoming more aware. We're becoming more awakened to vibrations and frequencies that are available. And this is what the infinite self is about. The infinite self is about opening up to this consciousness that's available to us through source energy. Source energy is the manifestation or the creation of all vibrations of reality, and it connects and it links directly with all sort of like vibrations of frequencies of different dimensions, different realms, and this is what infinite self is all about. And currently we're going through a massive shift where a lot of us are awakening, but also on the planet at the moment there's many sort of like conscious vibrations and frequencies. And I've talked about it yesterday. I was talking about like dimensions and realities, and like the dimensional sort of like vibrations and frequencies. Like you've got the 3D or the third dimension, which is very much around the out there reality, the physical reality, the external world that we see, which is the starting point of all like consciousness and all like awakening, for many beings or many spiritual beings, that we start to become aware that although the external reality is outside of us, and we see like the physical manifestation of it, that's an aspect of creation, that's an aspect of source. But then you start to shift to the fourth dimension, which is about transformation. This is where you start to become aware of your own light energy, your own light frequency, your own light vibration, but also your own consciousness. And consciousness is is the vibration, the frequency of creation. It allows you to sort of create your own reality. It allows you to start to align with your own inner source energy, and it allows you to start to, again, like I said, the fourth dimension is about transformation. You start to know that through energy and light you can start to create and manifest your own reality. I like the word creation more than manifest, because I feel with many things at the moment, there's vibrations and frequencies that are on the planet, or in this reality at the moment. So like when you look at like the evolution of like spirituality, and you look at the evolution of spiritual sort of understanding and wisdom, there's many frequencies and vibrations that are still on the planet, that are still sort of like here, that are resonating. But what's happening as well is I feel like with consciousness it's shifting. And there's many people talking, like, first of all, we used to talk about the third dimension, then we used to talk about the fourth dimension, now people are talking about the fifth dimension, now people are talking about the sixth dimension. And this is like an evolution of consciousness. It's an evolution of wisdom and insight that's being sort of aligned with the planet. And the more that we become consciously aware as a collective, the more that we start to receive insight and wisdom from these higher dimensions, or not higher dimensions, these infinite dimensions. I don't like the word higher, because I feel like higher again is like higher and lower, and this is all using terminology like this in a human way, I feel limits the experience. When the infinite is like infinite vibrations, infinite realities, that means that there's infinite ones. It's like higher, it means there's one higher or there's one lower, and I think that limits it. So I like, for me, and again, this is what I've been talking about, is I feel like as we start to evolve within consciousness and awareness, and we're being given wisdom from these infinite realms and these infinite dimensions, we start using different terminology, because we start, what we're moving towards is all that is, like this oneness, which is like everything is connected, everything is part of one vibration, frequency, and there's no separation. And again, this relates to what I'm talking about now with these different dimensional sort of consciousness states of being, that that on the planet at the moment there's these many different sort of vibrations, and currently through as we expand our consciousness, we can start to live in these infinite states and these infinite vibrations and frequencies, and we can start to really open up as channels to receive wisdom and insight, to then sort of like one, create within our own reality, so we can live with source, live connected and unified with source, and then create from source, because source is our our essence, the vibration, the frequency that's within each and every one of us as beings. But I've also talked about yesterday, I've talked about like the infinite self, which is this higher consciousness, this open channel that has access to source energy and all sort of like manifestations or reflections of or creations of sort of source energy. And when we're in the infinite self, there is no limitation, there's no separation, there is only infinite possibilities and infinite potentials, and each soul that is sort of manifested or sort of like reincarnated, however words you want to use it, or has come back to this reality in this time, has come back for that reason, to once again to express that infinite self and that infinite sort of source energy within their reality. And this is what this time and age is about. And you can see the evolution. People were talking about like transmedience, now they're talking about like verbal channels, now they're talking about automatic writing, they're talking about all these different shifts within reality and within consciousness, and each and every one of us. So like currently, many of us as beings, we go through up and down these different states of consciousness, like the third dimension, we get caught in that. But the true key to consciousness and awareness, and the true key to creation, is that we understand that although we may be experiencing three-dimensional consciousness or reality in that moment, we have the ability through our infinite self to shift to the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. I say the sixth is like as we shifting. So we always talked about the higher self. Now I'm using the terminology of infinite self. So I think that higher self was a state of evolution. Now we talk about the infinite self. And we were talking about the I am presence, but now we're talking about the sort of like the I am creator. So we're shifting in consciousness now that we understand that, through our light, through our energy, that now that we create our own reality. We create our own reality through consciousness. But we also know that our consciousness is this direct channel, or this direct sort of channel to source energy in those infinite realms. So we all have the ability to access this infinite wisdom, to then align it with and express it through our souls. Through our souls. Our souls are like source energy, that is back in this plane of existence. But our source energy then, our souls express that source energy, that source creative energy, and each soul is here to do that, is to live that source energy, living within source energy and source vibration. And this is what this time and age is about, and this is what we're doing. And this is why consciousness is really important, because consciousness is the energy. And once we sort of like, so and like it's different to thoughts. Thoughts start off with, they have a vibration, a frequency, but consciousness is different, because when you open up to that channel, you become or that infinite consciousness, you open up to that infinite flow from different dimensions and realities. And then what you can start to do is integrate that within your vibration, your frequency, and that connects directly to your soul. And when it connects directly to your soul, then you can start to then express it fully, wisdom and insight through your reality, through your lives. And what you can start to do is then, with that infinite wisdom and understanding of consciousness and creation, you can start to create, like what they say, the fifth dimension is like heaven on earth. And heaven on earth is really only a union between the infinite dimensions and realities, but also source energy and living with source. Heaven on earth is the understanding that you are a creator, and you can create and manifest your reality. So heaven on earth is whatever you want it to be. And this is the understanding and the wisdom of the I am creator vibration, that you are source and source is you, that the universe is you and you are the universe, and the universe works through you, for you, and as you. And when you start to understand that, everything is available. nothing is separate, and everything is in the eternal moment. And this is what this time and age is about: is that shifting. That you're not limitless, and you're infinite, and you're powerful. You're not powerless. And this is the shifting for many of us as we start to understand this. And this is why consciousness is really important, because the more that you're conscious of vibration and frequency, and your access to it, the more you can create your heaven on earth. And this is the fifth dimension, is heaven on earth. But it's also heaven on earth is the notion of that there is no separation, and that the fifth dimension and the infinite dimensions and realms and realities are always around you. They're always connected to you. Source is always available to you. So heaven on earth is the understanding that creation is always available, and you always have the ability to choose a vibration or frequency, and you have an ability to live within that vibration, that frequency. And this is what you find with many people that are walking in what they call is their purpose. They're walking in their purpose because they've come to the awareness that their reality is only a reflection of their consciousness. And this is what many of us are shifting into now. And this is why it's important, but it's also the realization that you're never stuck, in the internal moment. And in the internal moment, there's always opportunity to shift and change. And this is why I'm talking about like frequencies, and I'm talking about states of dimensions, like the third dimension, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension. I'm talking about that because they're not static. They're in this source energy. They're in this conscious creation, and they can be. You can sort of align and shift your consciousness to move into different dimensional states of being. And it's not limited. And this is the thing: it's like we're not stuck anywhere. We can always just shift and change our reality by shifting and changing our vibration, our frequency, and our consciousness. And this is what this time and age is about. And this is why I think it's really important to talk about this at the moment, because we're all channels for that. And no one. And again, this is the notion that I talk about, like with higher and lower. There is nobody that is more sort of higher than anybody else. It's just some people are more conscious than other people, and your consciousness is what creates your reality, which creates your state of being. So someone living in the fifth dimension, the fifth dimensional state of heaven on earth, is because they're conscious of that, and they're consciously creating that and living it within the source vibrations and frequencies. They're creating those conditions, or those realities, and those experiences within their life. And that's consciousness. You create them. The more you shift and create them. So if you create like I say, like the six dimensions, like this I am creator sort of manifestation, or like creation, vibration and frequency of the infinite self, and you know that your reality is only a reflection of your consciousness, then you're living within that I am creator frequency. And each and every being can live in that. It's when you start to realize that there's no limitation, and that you're not stuck, and that life isn't happening to you, it's actually happening for you, through you, and as you. And when the more that you become to this realization, the more you can shift and change your reality, and you can walk and express that infinite self, and those vibrations, those frequency and consciousness within your reality. And this is what this time and age is about, is knowing that there's no separation, and heaven on earth has never been separate. It never was. It's just a state of consciousness, a state of being. The more that you're aligned to your infinite self, and your light frequencies and your light consciousness, the more that you feel that heaven on earth, you feel that vibration of source, of creation everywhere. But you also know that creation is you, and it's within you, and all you have to do is walk as that creative being. And that is the start of the access to the infinite self. And this is what this time and age is about. That's the insight for today.